What's up, YouTube? This is Justin from Party Rental Knowledge. Today, I got Alex Cascio here again. I want to show you guys the top 4 general liability misconceptions because a lot of people don't understand anything about insurance. So here are the top 4 mistakes.
I appreciate that, Justin. Yeah, we just did a short video talking about what general liability does cover. So thought it might be a good idea to do a follow up as to what it does not cover, because we get these questions all the time. If you look at your insurance policy, it's clear as day, but not a lot of people would take the time to actually read it. So happy to kind of go through some of the things that we see all the time. You always get the questions about, is a waiver all I need? That's not the case. You need to have the general liability coverage. But general liability, despite its name, it doesn't mean that it's everything in general is covered under this one liability policy. If you look at the exclusions, which I can go through, I have an ISO book here next to me, so I can refer to it. But the top one that we always get a question about is auto insurance. Am I covered while I am driving the equipment to the setup and the pickup of the delivery process? That is not covered under a general liability policy. You have to have a commercial auto policy. That's one of the biggest exclusions that you can look at, because it actually it says here includes the operation and loading or unloading. So that means that while you're in the process of loading and unloading that equipment, you're not covered under a general liability policy. That's actually picked up under a commercial policy while it's on the dolly. So it's a big little insurance nuance that you guys really need to pay attention to, especially if you're using your personal auto insurance. You need to really get that commercial coverage if you want to be covered properly. Another one we get a question about is whether or not it covers your employees. That is another thing that's excluded. So it's a workers' comp policy is what you need if you have employees. That's what's going to pay for their injury. Also pay for any type of lost wages. So that's something you guys need to pick up. If you're just a sole owner, you don't have any employees, a lot of people don't pick that up initially, but you can still get a workers' comp policy to cover the owners and executives as well. So moving right along, another thing is damage to property is another exclusion in a general liability policy. So, your equipment is not covered under a general liability policy. You have to buy inland marine coverage or a property policy. So inland marine, the difference between the two of those is inland marine is for items that are mobile in nature. So it's covered while it's in your storage building, but also is going to be covered while it's in transit to the event, while it's set up at the event. And it's going to cover you for fire, vandalism, theft. Some states will also include wind. So definitely need to pick that up if you guys are worried about your equipment being stolen or damaged in some capacity. The last one that we have on here is electronic data. So that's a specific exclusion under a general liability policy. So if you guys are worried about being breached, if somebody gets into your system and says, hey, you need to give us $100,000 for us to give you access back to your systems. For some of you that are smaller operators, maybe that's not a big deal to you, but for the guys that are full-time, you guys are worried about this impacting your livelihood. If you can't access your system, or God forbid something happens to a very critical vendor. The example I used before was, what if ERS or Inflatable Office, if they get breached somehow and their site goes down, you can't use it. How's that going to impact your business? And you can get a cyber liability policy that would cover you, and it's very inexpensive. It's actually one of the more inexpensive policies that you're going to see out there to give you the type of benefits that you're going to get. So highly recommend it. There's another exclusion in there as well for medical payments for a lot of people, which is why you need that participant accident policy. So just keep that in mind, guys. There's a lot of other things that you can do to protect yourself and to protect your business. You just have to ask the questions. It's on your insurance agent to present these options to you. Obviously, you can decline to get them, but definitely be more aware of it. Ask questions, and if you guys are more knowledgeable about the products that can protect you, it's only going to help build your business. So feel free to reach out if you have any questions about it.
Yeah, I appreciate you. So like and subscribe if you haven't already, everybody, and check out the other Bounce House Insurance videos too.